Guys, I am going crazy. Hello, everyone. It is the Honest Collector, and here to give you the truth on the TMNT 2012 Neca figures, Neca Wave 1, whatever you want to call it. I'm at a loss for words. I'm going to keep the review normal, or how it should be. No crazy, like, gushing. I'll save that segment towards a different part of the video. And we'll just get into the nitty gritty of what each figure comes with, what to look out for, if this certain thing that you were hoping was done right, because this means a lot to a lot of people. This show means so much to a lot of people, means so much to me personally. So to look at all these here, and it's not even finished. I'm definitely gonna get the foot soldier, but here's the first wave. As you can see, flipping the boxes this way, they have the individual colors. Taking a look at the packages individually, they're numbered oddly, where Donatello's number 1, Michelangelo number 2, Raphael number 3, and Leonardo being number 4. Leonardo being my favorite turtle, I don't know, but we're gonna go over them, how they are numbered on the box. So for Donatello here's his box. All of the art was done by the original artists that, one of the original artists that did the show. I'm gonna find the name to credit him here. And on the back, you see Michelangelo's foot is going to be cut here. You're just going to have Donatello here, which I still think is a really smart choice. On the back, you have this alleyway here, and it says mutated from ooze and raised in the ways of ninjutsu by the rat sensei Splinter, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are ready to venture outside their sewer lair to fight evil everywhere. Although it looks small, it's a pretty decent bio for these turtle figures. And then you have the TMNT on the side of Nickelodeon right there, the splash page, Donatello. Oh my gosh. Splash page of Donatello right there. And then, of course, you open it up. You get that same alley image with the motherboard and just looks like the inside of like a PC or something. You see the Utron, the Krang right there. That's pretty sick. And this just looks awesome. So really cool packaging. Then going on to Michelangelo. Now we're going to get a little more familiar with it, so we're going to go a little faster. Same thing here, him just lunging. I think he has the second best packaging. The design here, he looks amazing. Although I noticed all of their wraps are white when they should be brown. Leo's the only one that has a white wraps around the foot and hands, which I think is odd. But you see him here with a smile, lunging with the other part of the moon there. This on the back, you have that same alley image, all in orange though. And then it's the same exact bio. Inside, you're going to get what looks like the bottom of his skateboard, which is really, really cool. And it's just some beautiful art. And then you have the alley image inside there. And then taking a look at Raph, who is my least favorite box art. It's just him kind of walking with the size out. It still looks really, really cool. I love this. It's just the other ones are better. So you have him kind of in that crouched position, just leaping forward. I'm gonna try and see if I can actually get these figures to pose like how they are here. Would you guys like, okay, is it just me? But a 2D based off these images here and this one here, how would you guys like to see an alternate version of the turtles, the 2012 turtles, but in this kind of more sketchy design? I think that's so cool. So on the top you see here that darker red, TMNT, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. Raphael right here, number 3. Then you open this up, and I don't know what this may be, a part of his room, but this looks freaking crazy. It looks really, really cool. I think it definitely fits him. And then you have the alley image inside. Same thing in the back, just in that red. And everything else. Now, Leo. No bias. I think he just looks the best. Like the type of pose they gave him. I think Mikey, on a different day depending, he also has it. Just, he has that cool edge with the katanas and everything like that. The bandana's done really well. him just absolutely lunging like this. Kick first is really cool with the swords. I think it just looks great. And then on the top here, you know, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. Number 4, save the best for last, in my opinion. And then you have the alley image in the back there. I think this one looks great. Opening it inside. Maybe this is his skateboard. I don't know, but pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think it's interesting. There's 3 other characters here. But yeah, I think it's awesome. Now going on to Shredder. Sorry, I know this is a while. There's a lot of figures here. Shredder, awesome. More like a black with some blood splatter here. That's what it looks like. You got the really cool image of Shredder here with those huge gauntlets. Alley image inside, and then bam, the foot just right there. Such a cool just image there. I wonder what they're going to do for the actual foot soldier. And then, which is weird because it's the same bio, but it's for Shredder. So that's odd. And then you see him right there. He looks huge. Just, oh my gosh, awesome. Let's put him together with, oh no, we don't have the foot soldier, so we don't really know what he's doing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I will connect this image when it is done. Okay, so diving into the accessories with these figures, man, I am really surprised that I was even able to fit all of them in one shot, in one frame here. You can see they are extremely organized, and then they are going to end by the head sculpt here. So Donnie's cuts off right here, Mikey's cuts off right here, Rap's right here, and Leo's at the end here. Shredder on top because there was no way I was fitting 5. So like I said, we're going to go over them, how they came out, or how they're numbered in the box. So we're first going to go over their animals, or I guess their alternate, like their main alternate accessory. You see what I'm saying here? Leo comes with this. I can't remember what it's called, but I am going to watch the episode before I finish this review. I love this show. So here we have Dr. Cluckingsworth, and he looks really good. I'm going to try and get more light shined on him. I don't have my mic, so I'm not going to be able to zoom in and still have the audio be super crisp. Got them stolen, got my headphones stolen. So anyway, here he is. He looks amazing. All that tiny paint detail. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna zoom in here and we'll take a look at that. It looks amazing. Then we have his goggles. I believe he used this for the retro mutagen, which I think is really cool. It only fits on the head with the pupils way better than it does on the one with the white eyes, which the reason why those aren't here is because I'm going to get onto those soon. But yeah, I think these came out really good, all painted, all the details there. Then we have the mutagen finder, which came out really good as well. You have all those little buttons and everything, all the detail there, painted really nicely. Then for all the turtles, you're going to see that we have the slice of pizza, the Ninja Smoke Bomb, and the T-Phone. Here we have pointing hands for Donatello, which I don't know if they're exactly just pointing hands or if they are also to hold the Ninja Smoke Bombs. Because if you put the fingers back enough like that and you just wedge this in the middle, you should be able to hold it there. Okay, just fell out, but it does work. I mean, I'm gonna have to do it off camera. So that's what I think these could possibly be for. I don't know why it's having such a hard time focus. But there we go. On the Ninja Smoke Bomb, it is done really nicely here. Everything's painted and it, for some reason, will not focus. I think there's just so much stuff going on. But as you can see, it is very small. But it came out really nice. Slice of pizza, cartoon slice of pizza. It's always gonna look good. Then you have, okay, the crank just fell over. So you have the gripping hands here, which is staff just fits right in through here. You then also have his open hands here, which this one's gonna hold something. So the most fun is the staff, because as you see, this piece just fits right into there. Definitely heat this up. My first Donatello broke using this because it's a little different. So when I switched it out here, I put this one in, it had snapped off trying to pull it off. So yeah, you could just do that and it looks awesome. That blade with the silver paint looking really, really nice. Looks beautiful, straight out of the show. And I think it came out wonderful. So that's awesome. Then you just put that right back there. It is really loose. Like, of course it's not gonna happen now. There it is. But like, it will fall out. It is really, really loose. For me, at least. I did heat it all up, so that way it was all good. So you're just gonna have to sacrifice that if you don't want this breaking on you. But anyway, everything came out super, super nice on the staff here. So we're gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna show the sheath, which I'll show covering Donatello, putting the staff in and everything like that. A lot of people had to take off the paint here in order to fit it into the hole, the peg hole for Donatello. I didn't have to. On the first one I did. Going over the head sculpt, it looks pretty good. I just don't like that one eye is smaller than the other. I think that looks super odd, and I just don't understand why it is. I think it just makes him look dumber, and Donatello is not supposed to look dumb. But as you can see, bandana rotates. They all have the same bandana. Not the same, like all of them, but both heads. No change in the bandana, which, huge missed opportunity. With the white eyes, they should be way different. The bandana should be more action or dynamic, I guess. But anyway, it's okay here. I just wish the eye was the same size as this one. I wish it could be this big, but it also could be this small. So I don't know. Either or would have worked. So then moving on to Michelangelo, he comes with Ice Cream Kitty. One of the best accessories, and I think it is really good. It's the only one that's articulated. It actually has some pretty good range. It's got a green dumbbell joint in there. You can twist it around, make him crunch more for all those dynamic action poses. I think it's really awesome. The tail does not move though, but it is really, really well done. So Mikey also comes with a pair of open hands. These are the same open hands that we saw with Donnie, so you could potentially get him to hold that canister of ooze as well. And this is all just speculation, but we got it right with the Super Shadow speculation, so I'm calling it here. But yeah, so then we have the two pointing hands, which we also saw with Donatello. I don't know what happened to his hands here. I really wish I would have kept them all neatly. But then we have the Hang 10 hands here, which I think fit really nicely for Michelangelo. And then we have two of the gripping hands here, which the nunchucks go into really nicely. And then, like I said, we have that same slice of pizza, the same Ninja Smoke Bomb and the Turtle Com, or the T-Phone. And then his nunchucks here are really interesting and are going to have their own little bit to it here, because there's a lot to explain. You have the regular nunchucks here, but as you see, there's this piece here, and you just pop these off like that. You can do it with both of them, right? Can you not? Wait. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so that can be done. It was just stuck. But yes, you can do that. You can pop both of the pieces off there. And you can customize it however you want, because you can take this off, put this on, and there you go. Now you have this one here. So you can change all that around, or you can actually pop this off, pop this one on, and now you just have the really long chain nunchucks. For some reason, that just popped out really easily. But you can do that as well, which I think is super cool. I've done that for the posing. Wow, okay, it's supposed to be a lot better. Hold on. So you're supposed to just pop it on like that. And there you go. Now you have the two nunchucks here and the long chains here, which look really, really cool. You can obviously do this too. So now he has the blade at the end there, which is pretty cool. Take a look at that alternate head sculpt, which looks really good. People say it looks like Mikey when he's like too young, and it just looks weird. It's like overdone, which I can definitely see where they're coming from, but I still think that this looks really good. There's a lot of instances where Mikey smiles like this in the show in regular time, like, and it's, oh man, I keep dropping it. In regular time, and it's exactly how it's supposed to look. You have the freckles and everything. I think they got the shade of green perfect. and I think it just looks really good. Um, I don't I don't really know what other expression. Maybe if it was like an open mouth or something, or maybe if it was kind of a little more of a mixture of these, where he had his mouth open, kind of smiling, but the pupilled eyes. That's for Mikey. Now moving on to Raphael, he comes with Chompy Picasso here. Really nice sculpt, really good sculpt work. The paint and everything is really good as well. And then taking a look at Raphael's hands, he has the two open hands that I have shown you with the other turtles here. And then obviously just on this green, in this green, I think they didn't get the green right for Raphael. They did, and it looks good because I think we're used to it, but I think he is just a little bit of a different green, like Mikey's green, but it's desaturated. That's really getting too nitpicky. I think it still looks perfect, or almost perfect. I think it looks great. We have the two gripping hands for the size here, and we have two punching hands, which I think we definitely should have gotten two gripping hands with the fingers splayed out a little more, so we can have him holding the size in that iconic way through the fingers, which is a huge missed opportunity. I think we definitely should have gotten that because it's already kind of like not the easiest to pose size. I really think that we should have gotten those, and that would have been perfect. It would have really made up for all the accessories that the others have, right next to him, having the least amount. And a lot of people love Raphael, so it's just kind of disappointing. We have the size here, which came out perfect. They have all the sculpted detail and everything like that. The paint, everything. The silver is beautiful. I have put these in the sheets in the little pockets that he has in the back, and absolutely no scuffing on the paint or anything like that. So that's awesome. And then he has the pizza slice, Ninja Smoke Bomb, and T-Phone. Taking a look at the extra head, I think it looks perfect. This is exactly how Raphael looks. I would not want him any other way. I mean, maybe if he was smiling, but that's not a suggestion. That's just I would also be okay with it. I think the head shape came out perfectly. I think the way the bandana looks came out really nicely. So I think it's great. I think he's also the only one that has a different bandana piece. As you can see, having them in the same direction, they are different. They're not the same. This one's way more flowy out, and this one's just hanging down, which I feel like should have been done for the rest of the turtles, especially for Leonardo, because he has the second least shortest bandana next to Michelangelo. And I'll get onto that when I get onto him, because we're going to talk about him now. Moving on to Leonardo here, we have the Micro Omnivision Disintegrator. And this came out really nicely. Look at all that paint detail and all the rust and everything like that. The chipping that's like supposed to be on there. It looks so nice and intentional. And it just came out great. Everything's painted, the little silver, the yellow lines came out really nicely. Everything just came out perfectly about this weapon. And then we also have the open hands like I have showed you with all the other turtles, which I think is really cool. Then we have Leo's version of the Hang 10 hands here, which this one's the same as Mikey here, going like that, but this one's a little more splayed out for some reason. So I've kind of used this as like a open gesture kind of hand, like if he has one sword out, he's using his hand and just putting it out that way. So I think it's supposed to just kind of be like that meditation scene where he just like absolutely obliterated Karai, got the poison out of him in season 3. That's always kind of what I thought of, especially with the closed eyes and everything, which we'll get onto that head sculpt in a second. But then he also has two gripping hands for the katanas, which fit in perfectly. And then we have the two punching hands, like we've seen with Raphael. So now you can see that these hands are starting to just get reused around each turtle and stuff. He has the slice of pizza, the Ninja Smoke Bomb, and the T-Phone. And going on to the katanas, it's been a known thing that one of the katanas is shorter than the other. They did that with the Playmates Toys one, and they're doing it with these ones as well. And I think this one's just too short. I don't like how short it is. I'm going to zoom out a bit. I don't like how short it is compared to the other one. They're just two completely different sizes. And I think that's just more of a personal preference thing, but I almost just wish that they were the same size, because you really can't tell in the show. But the paint on the katanas is done phenomenally. Wow, there we go. And it came out really good with that harsh dark silver, that gunmetal gray silver, and then having that little outline came out great. For some reason, it is just not focusing. But there we go. It came out really, really nicely. The leather and everything like that that's painted there looks awesome. And the little bits right here, they did fantastic with that. Now we have the alternate head sculpt here, which is him just closing his eyes, which I really like, or I would really like if we had one with pupils. I would have been completely fine not getting the Micro Omnivision Disintegrator if we just got this head sculpt with pupils. So it really does bug me because we could have had more. And I think we were supposed to. There was alternate heads that also came with Mikey too. It just, where did it go? Is it going to be put in an accessory pack? Why? So we only have the whited out eyes and the closed eyes, which can be very full of expression, but also is just really missing out on something because all the other turtles have pupilled eyes here. And now Leo's the only one that's either going to have whited out eyes or closed eyes. There are no options for pupils. So that really does bum me out because, especially because Leonardo's my favorite, it just kind of like, it really sucks. But if there's an accessory pack or an alternate version, I'm gonna end up getting it, but it just sucks, man. It definitely should have just went with the pupil look. I don't know why they made that decision that they made. But now to the final figure here, moving on to Shredder, we're gonna take a look at the Krang he comes with first. This is really well done. The only thing is he can barely stand. I wish they both would have been like that, so that way he could stand. But because of the way he is, he's just going to have a really hard time standing. He's either going to fall forward or back. But I'm not too big on it. Like, I'm not going to be harping on it too much. It's okay. It looks really good. It looks exactly how it should. We get the 2 blades here, which I'll show you more when we get to the actual Shredder figure. We get 2 blades here to put in his gauntlet. 2 here, the same. And then we have that one middle one that he puts out. I think in episode 9, he puts right up to Leo's throat. And then we have the alternate Oroku Saki head, which came out amazing. It looks beautiful. I mean, beautifully disgusting, but it came out really good. So yeah, that's awesome here. And with that finally being all the accessories, let's get on to the figures. All right, so taking a look at Donatello here, he looks perfect, proportionately accurate, exactly how he looked like in the show. Here's the whited out eyes, that head sculpt here, which came out looking amazing. And what I noticed was if you grab all of these here, let's do it in show order, or in intro order, because the whited out eyes aren't just them being angry with white eyes. It's exactly portrayed how it was in the intro. And that's why Mikey looks so incredibly, because when it says with the shell shock, by the Shell Shock Pizza King is when he swings the nunchucks out here, and that's the face he gives. And with Raph, when he jumps, does the thing with the size, and it zooms in like that, it zooms in right there. You know, these radical dudes right here with Donatello flipping the staff upward, that's the look he gives. And Leonardo doing that whole flip, that's what he does. And I was just like, that's why they are so specific. I think that's really, really cool. They had to have done that on purpose because all of them match that. Go watch the intro. So that's super awesome. But taking a look at Donatello, as I was saying before, the color of green is the exact way that it should be. The spots that he has on the head here and on the biceps and everything like that, all across the body, look absolutely perfect. The knees look really nice. The wraps are exactly how they should be. The feet, while super blocky, just capture it perfectly. And this guy is definitely going to be able to balance properly. Here, let's just take a look and see. It's super easy to balance. You just, now it's not really doing it. There we go. You just do something like that. You do something like that. And the guy is not falling over. You can like put him over like this. Just bend that ankle this way a little bit. And he's going to stand. So yeah. These feet are pretty good and reliable for making sure that they don't fall over, and you can just plop them, stand them, and there you go. So that's a pretty good upside to these figures looking the way they do. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the way they are designed, but if you're going to be buying these figures or watching this review, I'm assuming you're a fan of the design. So, and I am. I definitely think that they look very blocky, but for 2012 and how they do it, I think it came out great. The proportions still look good. They still look muscular and everything. Like, they each have their own attributes as well. So I think it came out awesome. So taking a look at that, the back of the shell here, you have all the highlight spots and everything, and the entire shell has a texture to it, which is really nice. It's a bit more of a harder plastic than everything else. You can see all the green is painted as well. It gives it a nice finished look to it. And then you have that peg hole here. So let's get onto that now. I had just dropped the staff. There it is. So taking a look, you just have this here. I don't know which way it's supposed to plug in. I can't remember, but it does take a little bit of finagling because you have to like just match it up, but it's really not super difficult. You just plug it in like that, and then I usually try it, whichever part pops off, I put that in at the top. So you just put that right through there, and there you go. It actually doesn't, it's not too stuck in there. It actually comes out a fair amount of, it has an easiness to it. For some reason, it's just not, what the heck? It really was like not even that long ago. There we go. That's fine. And it's not too stuck or anything like that. It's just being weird. So yeah, you just put it in like that. I think it's too far down. There you go. And yeah, I usually pull it up from here because this is just gonna go like that. And then I don't want that happening from the bottom. So that's how he looks with that. And I think he looks awesome. Now let's get the staff in the hands. And I'm debating if I should actually show you how I do that, because again, I did heat these up, and I think the whole I shouldn't have to heat these up, like, you're getting figures that have paint everywhere, all over them, between the joints, everything like that. You're gonna have to heat them up, so that way, like, if you really want the quality that you're getting, I feel like you're just gonna have to kind of go through with that and just unfortunately do it. It's not too difficult to do. I get it's kind of annoying when you get it out of the packaging and stuff like that, but it's really not a big deal for me anyway. So you just get the hands open and you put the weapon in it. For some reason, it's super hard to do right now. Okay, it is way easier to do off of camera, but you just kind of have to slide it through and just kind of get it there. And there you go. Now the staff is in his hands and it fits really well. This is not coming off anytime soon. It's not just going to be plopping and like dropping anytime you want it to do something. So yeah, that's definitely good. It's going to be a little more difficult holding it with both hands, but I often would just use one of the other like slightly open hands and just do that. So yeah, I don't know if the staff is too short. I think it is. It's a little too short for me, but I still think it definitely works, and it looks really, really cool. It looks really good. I just think it's a little on the short side. But taking this off and using the blade, I guess I should have put it in the other way, shouldn't I have? I'm doing this now so you can see, I promise. There we go. Like, once you get it in, it's actually like not too difficult to rearrange it how you would like. But now, putting that there, I'm just kind of resting this part of the hand here. Just gonna have it like that. There you go. That looks awesome. I think that looks really cool. So that's cool. Enough about the weapon. Back to the details and stuff like that. The front of the shell is painted, has those scratch marks on it and stuff. That looks really cool. And now popping the head off and putting the more happier pupil-eyed head on. The heads are pretty hard to swap. Putting that on, taking his goggles, putting these on, you're gonna wanna slide them through the bandana piece here, right there. And then, oh, they're upside down. Right there, and then they'll just kind of rest right here, which it is going to be a little more of a snug kind of fit, but you're not going to be breaking anything or smudging any paint off. So that's what he looks like with them on. I think it looks really good. That's how it looks like right over here. You just do that, and I guess if you wanted to just push them down a little more, however you please, you can. The whole point is that you can get them on, and they're not really gonna fly off super easily. They don't really work on the alternate head sculpt here, or on the white eyes one. popping the head off and putting this one back on. Doing it off camera because it's so much easier. It doesn't really work. I don't know if it's just not like sculpted to design, like the design just not sculpted that way, but just trying to do that on this, like, it just doesn't work as well. I mean, I think you definitely could, but it's going to be resting on there where it's just going to come off like that. So it's really interesting how they did that. So I think they just kind of, you could see his face is a little slanted there. But everything looks really, really good. All the wraps, everything, I think they did a great job. I'll get onto the articulation all afterward. I'm going to be going over them individually, articulation-wise, because although, like, yes, they're basically the same, I want you guys to really see everything here. So yeah, they got the little pocket side things on the shell really good, and I think it came out great. So now let's move on to Michelangelo. So this guy right off the bat is going to have a little more of a bigger problem because he has these pockets on the side here, which honestly, I don't know how else they would have done it. Maybe if it was a separate mold, or like not separate mold, but if they just cut this here, kept it sculpted there, and just made an alternate thing for the pockets here to go actually in here and just be glued to there or something like that, or just kept there part of the sculpt, I think that would have been great, because he already can't put his arms down as easily as some of the other turtles, for example, Leonardo. And then also, I have another Michelangelo, let me get him out. Getting these nunchucks in here is pretty difficult, but now he really can't put his arms down. So you're gonna have to have them up or something like that if you don't want the, if you want the nunchucks in here, because it's already kind of difficult to get in. You're gonna start to get a little scared and you're really forcing them in there. That's why I'm just gonna keep these inside of here and then have these ones be out, because this is pretty scary, and it's just like, it's super difficult to get them out and get them back in and everything, especially with them popping off so easily, the top part of the chains. So for me, thankfully I have two of them. I'm just gonna keep this one like this, and that is something to look out for. That is definitely going to be unfortunate for someone that wants like one chuck in and then one chuck he's holding and stuff like that. So all of that will be taken into consideration, but not too much, because I don't think there's a lot they could do, but I definitely think they should have done that, and that would have been a lot better of an idea. Maybe open these pockets a bit more. But taking a look at the figure itself, he looks amazing. Like, he looks amazing. You can see he still has all the scratch marks on the front of the shell. He's got all the little spots on the top here, which gives it that real nice finished look, that non-cheap look. You have all the spots down at the legs. The knee pads, I don't think are the same. Yeah, they're not in terms of sculpt and paint and stuff like that. They're definitely different. These ones are more bigger. These ones are squished. And then just different marks and nicks and everything like that. The belts, which is something I never got to mention, are done beautifully. They have this almost realistic look to them that really just makes these turtles pop in a way that the show kind of couldn't, because they got all these paint marks and everything like that here, and it looks amazing. And you can see more of the back of the shell, the texture there and everything like I showed you before. The elbow pads look great, and the arm wraps, while these ones more looking a little more bare, Donatello's had more paint on them, they still look okay. Just a little more on the bland side. But as you can see, everything here looks really nice. Those sides of the shells and everything came out really good and super accurate to the show. And that head sculpt, like I said, I think it looks really cool, and understanding where it's from definitely made me appreciate it more, because people are saying that, well, Mikey's not usually this angry, so we should still have him maybe smiling. I think no. If you're gonna give them expressions, give them different expressions. That's the point. You don't want two different versions of happy. You want one that's angry, one that's happy. And not one that's angry and one that's, I don't know, dead. I don't know. I'm still pissed off about that. But yeah, like I said, the feet, the way the wraps are, they look really good. The way it was segmented and everything like that looks awesome. And yeah, I think it came out really nice. You can't tell me that this doesn't strike such a nice image of that 2012 Michelangelo look. So yeah, came out really nice looking. Then, actually, I didn't even get onto the accessories or how you put the nunchucks in his hands and stuff like that. But the nunchucks are definitely going to be easier to get in, I want to say. Maybe not. Or no, that's what I did. I put them up like this because you can just pop off the piece and you can put them up through like that. And there you go. And as you can see, there's no paint scuff. I've had these figures for a while now, a little bit, just to pose them and really see how they would look after posing and stuff. And some harsh posing too. These figures can actually do quite a lot. Now, I did do mods to these, but none that I have, like, none that you'll really be able to tell. Like, I can just not do that and you'll understand. Because, as you can see, I might do a later video, another video down the line. But down here, you can see everything's connected together, that piece of the shell, where here I cut it out. And that gives you an entire new twist to the figure that you couldn't do before. So, trying to do it with this one, you're not really going to do that at all. It's just the legs twisting, where, for example, I did the same thing with Donatello, and that's how much he can twist. It looks a little ugly, but once you get it into some poses, it'll look a lot better and everything. So I did do that with all the turtles, but I won't be showing that piece of articulation because it's not how they came, and that's what I'm reviewing. So yeah, you get the nunchucks right here. And yeah, I mean, I guess I could do it with the other ones too, but you already see with this one. And then if you just wanted to pop that off, pop this on, you can see how he's gonna hold that here. You just pop this in right here. Basically same way as before. There we go. And then you put that through and there you go. Looks awesome. So that's super, super cool. And of course, since it is on chains, you can kind of put this around, see how it's gonna look and everything. But yeah, so here you go. That's awesome. That looks really cool. That's how the nunchucks work. Again, Ice Cream Kitty, flat base, so he's not really gonna be holding it at all. Here we have Raphael here, which looks awesome. That is such a perfect berserk rage kind of face here. But I think he is the most plain looking as well. Unfortunately, like, you have some of the spots on the top here like the others, but there's nothing really on the legs or anything like that. Not much on the arms. There's these little sprinkles of the dots where they're supposed to be. He has all the shell nicks and everything like that, and it looks perfect. He has a little crack in the shell too, which looks great. But I don't know. I just feel like I want him to look better. I want him to have that more accurate green. I feel like we're not getting that here. It still looks amazing, but you know, just small things that could have made it different. He also is getting the bare bones treatment of the wraps, and I really do like Raphael, so this kind of sucks of not getting that special treatment. Only Donnie really did. Donnie and Leo, but I'll get on to Leo later. He still looks amazing, and he still has all the details of the wraps and everything, and the leather on the belt and stuff like that, and the various different browns that they're kind of mixing in there to give it that worn look. Looks really nice. The elbow pads and knee pads look great. The wraps are definitely painted well enough on the bottom where they're different colors and everything like that, so that's really good. And overall, it does look really nice. And to get the size in the hand, it's pretty easy since they're so small by the grip. So I'm gonna have one go upside down like this, which just fits in like nothing. It's perfect. And then this one through the top here, where it's the same thing. You're just gonna wanna put it in through the smallest side, kind of wedging that part in, and then you can, of course, twist it later. And that's how he's gonna hold the size. So that's awesome. And if you do this mod, you're gonna be able to get some really nice twisting like that. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's really cool. I really enjoy Raphael. It looks really nice with the paint and all the little scratches and everything that are slightly sculpted into the shell. And I think they did a great job. Just a few things that I would tweak here. And now, going on to my favorite turtle, Leonardo. This guy looks amazing. He looks really good. I think it's so hard to tell. I think him and Mikey look the best, but Donnie also looks really good too. I don't know. These three look so perfect. And Raphael definitely looks really great too, and all four of them, they look great, but I just think the green is a little off. I think it's between Leo and I want to say Donnie, but they look awesome. So he is no exception. He looks really good too. Like I showed with you before, everything here is completely different. The little nicks and stuff like that, and the scratches and paint marks and all that is different. The elbow pads are going to have a ton of detail and everything. The wraps have all that segmented lining with the paint and stuff like that you can see here. And as you can see, it's on his hands as well. Everything's painted like that. You have the two buckles here that are painted, which look awesome. For some reason, this is kind of slanted. It's not supposed to be. In the show, it's also a little lower. So that's kind of odd for me, but it doesn't really matter. The one thing that I will say, though, is the bandana. Damn it, man. It's too short. It's too short, and it's like so hidden. Whenever you try and turn it, it's still just going to go out to the back, and it's just not really going to do much. I wish they would have given either a different one or just made it differently. Because I really like the way Donatello's is done. Mikey's has always been like the shortest, and Raphael's one is amazing. And the bandanas are a huge part to me. So like the way they're done on figures. So yeah, this is just too simple for me. It's not going to hang down at all either. It's literally just going to float off like that. So I think that was a really bad choice on their part. But everything else looks amazing. You have all the spots in the paint and everything like that, and I think it looks really, really nice. He is supposed to have some lighter spots, like some whiter kind of faded looking ones, as you can see here. But he doesn't, which is odd. I think that would have been a really nice touch to just sell this, but he's definitely a more paler green, but he looks exactly how he's supposed to. You can see the wraps on the foot and everything are done really nicely. They look so like kind of dirty and worn out, not too clean, but so intentional, and it looks just amazing. The shell looks awesome as well. You can see he has the sheaths here, which is really cool. Mine didn't come undone. You can see they're glued in right there. I don't know why they wouldn't just peg them in, which is really weird to me. So that can break, but it hasn't on me, thankfully. As you can see, there's white here because the paint has chipped off. That just came like that. The amount of times that I've put these swords, and at least for the taller one, it's a firm grip. And like you've seen, there's absolutely no paint scuffing or anything like that. I'm pretty sure this is the longer katana here. And this is the shorter one. So the short one is gonna go in super easy, like no friction or anything. This one is gonna be the one that's scary because you're gonna push it in like that. And it feels like it's just rubbing up against the sheath when you take it out and just scraping. But it's not. There's absolutely no paint marks. And I've taken the swords in and out so many times, and it's been just absolutely amazing. So yeah, now here's how he looks with the swords. I think he looks amazing. This looks super, super cool. The bandana is getting in the way a little bit, which is why I think that they should have just done it to where it's coming down here or something. So that's unfortunate. Maybe they'll make alternate bandanas, I don't know. But yeah, so now I think we can get on to the... no, we still have to go over his Micro Omni Vision Disintegrator. So I actually haven't tested it. I don't know if it fits into this hand right here, but we're going to try off camera and then I'll let you know. So it does fit. I just don't think it's supposed to. It looks like it is just gonna pop right back out. Yeah, no, I guess it's really just supposed to fit into the holding hands here. I mean, it does. You can get it to. It's just you're really gonna have to like finagle with it and just kind of get it to really look intentional. But it is a good weapon. I don't really use it for Leonardo, and I just don't really see a purpose in it. But if you want to use it, you definitely can. As you've seen there, you can put it in the hand. It's just going to look a little odd trying to do it first. But now going on to the articulation, we should just do, I don't know, should I just do Leo first since he's here? I have Donnie right here. So we're going to take Donnie right over here, and we're going to see he can move up. He can look up really, really high, which is amazing. And he can look this far down, and then he has that head tilt, which is really good. Neca's always been good on that, on making proper dumbbell hinges or dumbbell joints for the neck. except one of these figures. One of these figures does it kind of bad, and you'll find out who that is, obviously, later on. So now with the arms, it's a little hard to do because of the shell, but you can almost get it all the way around. You'll just have to like bring it out a little bit, but just regularly, it's that far back. And then you're not really you're gonna have to tuck them in between here because the shell is getting in the way, or you can just have them out flat like that. But the arms are going to be a little odd to put down properly. The double jointed elbows are going to work really nicely. You can see that works great there. The arm is going to move out this much, 90 degrees. And then you have the bicep swivel, and then obviously the regular hinge there for the wrist articulation. Now, just here, that's as much as you're going to get. That much crunch forward. And this doesn't have anything to do with the mod. You could see none of the pieces are split here, except the bottom, but that literally doesn't count for any bit of the top here. So you're just gonna get that much crunch down, and then you're gonna get tilting side to side here. I guess that one I can show here. So you do get a fair amount of tilt, especially almost kind of working with the hips. So it's okay, but don't expect to get into, you're gonna have to be smart with the posing here, if you know what I'm trying to say, to really get it into those poses. But they can get into them. It's just what to look out for. So now moving on to the legs, kicks up this high here. I did cut this out, which is not, it's barely even a mod. If anything, it just happened naturally. Oh, his legs are so much more ratcheted. But yeah, it just kind of happened naturally, so I don't exactly think I have a figure to show otherwise. Like, yeah, it just kind of happens. There's nothing you can really do. But I guess if you wanted to keep that intact, it would only kick out to about here, which is still good. And then moving these knees, there we go. You have the double jointed knees, which works decent enough. You have the thigh cut up here, which is nicely hidden under the shell. And then splits, he's gonna kick out this much, which is basically I wouldn't say perfect splits, but it's as much as you're gonna need there for like a kick like that. So that's great. You get a lot of choice of movement for the legs and stuff. So pushing that back down. Then for the ankles, they're gonna move this far up, which is actually really good, and then this far down, which is also really good there. So that's awesome. Then you're gonna have the ankle pivot, which is done really nicely. And since they're rounded off on these kind of ball things, it's always gonna look like it's kind of almost supposed to be there. Nothing too jarring, which is good. That's the articulation for Donatello. Now going on to Michelangelo. Like I showed you here, all of the figures kind of have this part where this part just kind of comes up, and even the Playmates figures have that. But taking a look at the head articulation, he can look up slightly less than Donnie, still a decent amount. He can look down pretty good, and then the side-to-side tilt is really nice. Then you have the arms, which are going to move up 90 degrees, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows are going to be really nice on him too, regular hinge that I've shown you. And then with the torso, same thing. He's gonna crunch this much, crunch back, or bend back, nothing too crazy. Kind of have that little wiggle room there. That side to side is gonna be pretty decent. And yeah, decent enough. And then of course with that mod, that tilt that you get to the side, which is so cool. But yeah, it's always fun. And yeah, now with the legs, you're gonna get him to kick up this far. Not really pushing anything here, not really breaking anything, any boundaries here. You have the double jointed elbows, which are gonna be really nice here. And then you're gonna have the ankle articulation, that far down, that far up, and pivot. It's gonna be a little less on Michelangelo, which is why I point out all these little things. And like Donatello, he has the thigh cut, which actually goes really far out, which is great. And again, hidden by that front part of the shell. So that's going to be it for Michael. Oh, splits. And, why can't he? Let's get the other one. Oh, no, I can't because of the nunchucks. See what I mean? What if we do this one first? No, that's kind of odd. But usually you should be able to get them this far out a little more than this one for some reason. I think something might be stuck in there, like a bit of paint or something. But I don't want to break it, so that's kind of unfortunate. But they can get out like that. So they're going to have their little flaws here and there, but these are definitely worthy figures, as you can see with the poses on here. Then Raphael. Let's get the size out of his hands. I feel like since I'm handling these things so rough, some people are like, oh my gosh, stop, like be careful. But these haven't shown any sign of breaking or anything like that. I've kind of had to look through them and everything to see what I was doing with the mods and stuff. So he has the worst head articulation because what is that? He can barely look up at all like that. That sucks. Obviously, I didn't show, but all these turtles can swivel their heads. I don't know if I really need to show that, but they can. So that's pretty good. And then, yeah, he has okay tilt, but his head is almost just feels like the Playmate's single ball joints, which is really, you don't want to get back to that for this price of a figure. But the arms, like 90 degrees, bicep swivel, and double jointed elbows work a little less than the other two. Regular hinge, like I've shown you before. And the arm is going to move this far back, that far down. Didn't do it for Michelangelo. That far back, that far down. A little less with him because of the nunchuck pouches. So then with the torso, he's going to crunch this far down. That's going to be it. And then barely any back. Pushing the shell piece down where it should be. There we go. Yeah, just kind of have that wiggle room there, here and here. You're going to get it more out of the hips, but there's not much. But you're just getting a little. Then kicking out, he's going to kick that far forward, which isn't amazing. He's going to have that thigh cut right up there. Double jointed knees work pretty good. And then also the ankle, moving this far down, that far up, actually doing a pretty decent job. And then the ankle pivot. And now going on to Leonardo. He looks this high up, which is like the second worst. It goes Donatello having the best, then Leonardo, then Mikey, then Raph having the worst. So decent enough. And then he, has pretty good tilt all around. He looks down this much. Arms are going to move out to 90, as you can see here, or maybe almost a little less. But no, it's at 90. Then you have the double jointed elbows, which work really nicely. And then you have the regular hinge and moving this far up. Not bad. And that far down, still being blocked by that shell. And then bicep swivel, I'm pretty sure I just showed you that. I can't remember. The torso now. He's going to crunch this much forward. Really, yeah, he's going to crunch that much forward. Then that far back, not much. You're going to get that little shimmy side to side. And then, of course, with that mod, you're going to have the twist, but I'm not going to do that now. And then with the legs, he's going to kick up this far, which is pretty good. It's right at 90. Only going out the smallest bit. You have the thigh cut, like in all the others, which works really nicely. Double jointed knees, which probably work the best. That's amazing. And then the ankle articulation down, moving up, and then the pivot that you've gotten with all the others. So that's nice. Leo has pretty good articulation, but I think the best is probably Donatello, which is interesting. Because for some reason, although this one moves out easily, this one doesn't. Pretty ratcheted. So that's interesting. And that's going to be the articulation for the turtles. And if you've messed with NECA figures before, you're going to understand more and kind of like, okay, so it has this issue, kind of what you've been seeing in reoccurring like Ninja Turtles figures. Like the Return to New York ones move pretty well, except that side to side with the shell. But other than that, they're like, okay, they're pretty decent. They can pose, and so can these. Just got to be careful with them and really kind of be experienced with how Neca is. So yeah, that's how all of these turtles articulate. And now let's get on to the Shredder, because he is definitely an interesting one. Let's get him here. He looks awesome, but there are a lot of flaws with this figure. A lot of flaws, and I need to go over them because it's definitely interesting. He looks amazing. All of the silver paint detail and everything. He looks exactly like how he's supposed to in the show. And he looks great. You have all the armor and everything like that that's sculpted there, and all the little nicks and stuff like that, and all the colors and that really flat finish that just really jumps right from the cartoon. This looks amazing. He has the cape that isn't bendy wired, which kind of sucks. He looks really, really good. And I do have two. I do have another. And taking this cape off, which is possible. Let me take the helmet off. You can pop the helmet off. You can see that Oroku Saki head there. This is the neutral expression. The one that I showed you was the angry one. So you can pop the cape off here. You can pop the helmet off as well, which is really, really cool. You can see no cape, no helmet here. Here's what he looks like. He looks really, really good, like I showed you before. Got that really nice, like, evil look to him, that really messed up, scraped up face, burned, all the burn marks, looks really nice. So that's great. You can take the cape off, like I said. I repeated myself so many times. Now, this figure broke on me twice because this spike here is missing, where this one has it. However, this leg spike broke off where this one has it. And to expose this guy even more, when I tried moving the joints after heating it up 3 times, the knee, the top part popped off. If anybody knows how to fix that, I still have the cap. Please tell me, because it's broken. So now his leg can do that. And it is pretty hidden. So thankfully, but still it is upsetting. So I got another one, and the freaking elbow joint broke on me. And he still can't move his elbows, and I heated this guy up another 3 times. So I don't know what it is, but this guy's just bound to break on you. Some people have had the top of the helmet break, like the Kuro Kabuto had that broken on them. And it's just wherever you move this guy, you're going to have different pieces that are just going to fall off. And it's like, what the heck? This is quality control that's actually just getting unacceptable when it comes to this, because these are $38 figures. Now you just can't even pose them without breaking it. What is going on? So, but the look of it is really nice. You get all these pieces here, all these little spikes and everything like that. And now it is time where I can show you how to attach these pieces. I'm keeping the cape on this one. So getting his accessories, all the blades he comes with, you take this one and you put it in this groove right here, this little peg hole, and it fits in right there. And that's how you end up attaching these pieces, and it looks freaking awesome. And of course he comes with 2 of these each, so you're gonna be able to do it for both. If he wants to fight the turtles just using the gauntlets, he can. But if you want him using this, he also can do that as well, which looks really, really cool. I don't think it's exactly in there the same way. There we go. That looks awesome. And then if you really wanted to go overkill, you can just attach this one right in the middle, I believe. I know you can. There we go. You can attach the one right in the middle. Now he's got all these blades out everywhere, which I definitely think looks really cool. It's a little overdone for me, but it still looks awesome when you get everything to line up correctly. And doing that on both of them would be sick. So then you just pop these off, and pop these off, and you pop that one off too. And then you have them regularly back to the other gauntlets. Now, the accessories, I think, yeah, like I showed, the open hands, the gripping hands, and then just the regular punching hands here. Nothing crazy. Looks really good. And like I showed you before, you could take the helmet off and everything, and the cape and stuff. And again, this is what that's gonna look like, which looks awesome. So yeah, and then he only comes with the Krang, which you could just find a way you could just picture how someone's going to hold the Krang. You just get the gripping hand and just place that like so. And then maybe you could do 2. Can he not hold the Krang? I mean, you can hold it like that, sure. You can kind of hold it like this. And then, yeah, you can find some way to do it. I just don't really have a... There we go. See? That's something. There we go, just like that. But yeah, I wonder if you could do that with the turtles too. So this shredder is a little more disappointing because now getting onto the articulation, you have to be really careful where you even grab this guy. Get him by the shoulder. He can get that far range up in terms of the arms. He has the double jointed elbows that are just really hard to get to move, but those are the double jointed elbows, which work decently. And then he has the bicep swivel, which they do. The one thing that companies like DC Multiverse do, McFarlane Toys, and even sometimes Hasbro, which is, what are we doing? Which is where they just make the cut. They don't actually sculpt out anything. They just make the cut, and now it's going to look super weird. What is that gap? What are we doing? And it just doesn't look good at all. There's definitely a way to do this. Even if you have to make him a slightly bit more lanky, it definitely would have worked. Just kind of fix him up and not make these spikes so hard, so easy to snap off. And it'd be way better. So you can have that. You can have him move his arm this high up, and that's going to be it. So with no elbow helping the range, that's how high he's moving his arm up. Why wouldn't you have this just be attached to the arm? That's how you always do shoulder pads. So that way, if you move this, it can always get out of the way and rotate with it. Will it look a little weird? Maybe, but it's definitely worth it. And if these spikes are a softer piece, it wouldn't really matter about how you hold it and how you do all of this stuff. But since it's so hard and so just pointed upward, you put any pressure on it, you're going to snap it right off of the glue. So this figure it's going to be super difficult to even animate with this guy, especially because that's not the only issue. The torso is going to swivel this way because for some reason this top joint can't. It's only good for crunching. But this is how far he crunches forward. That's it. Again, showing you with this guy, this is how much he crunches forward. You have a completely clean diaphragm joint that you can just make articulate super well. You could have given him a double ball peg system in the lower and upper joint, and it would have been amazing. It's super easy to do. It barely costs any more. Or if you just wanted to give him the one diaphragm joint, just have it actually work. Now that you don't, that's how much he crunches forward. What the heck is that? So he crunches back more than forward, which is something you never want your figures to do. And since this can't twist this way, and this also twists that way, you can't just do like the little trick where you can have him actually crunch lower. No. That's how low he's going. It sucks. Because it's Oroku Saki, the shredder. So, anyway, the head movement I didn't even get onto because you can barely move it with the helmet without it falling off. So the head movement like this, you have a cut in the neck too. So that's how high he's looking up, which is good actually. That's how low he's looking. And the tilt is really nice and everything like that. They did this really, really nicely. Understandably so. You're not going to be able to do that. Maybe readjusting the way he's going to look decently enough, but because of the design of the helmet, you're not really going to get much out of that. You're going to get some tilt, a decent enough amount, and acceptable because of the way this helmet is designed. I don't think that's NECA's fault, really. But, man, some of the choices they made, like this diaper piece being way too low. I don't know what this stuff is on my figure, but this being too low, so now he can only kick out that much. If you really want to just tear your figure, that's basically going to be it, too. So he can barely kick out. He can barely kick back. And then splits just around there. Come on. So he has the tiniest bit of a thigh swivel here because you're really going to get majority of it out of here. But what good is that going to do if the leg is still just going to bend in this way? And then at the same time, you have another cut in here, but it's just not making too much sense because so much of this figure is not functioning correctly that you can't properly utilize the other joints that it offers. So he can move his ankles this far down and as up as the armor piece will let him, right there, which is good. I really like that choice. And then the ankle pivot here that you've seen. So it's a standard hinge kind of joint work. It's just, this Shredder figure is super disappointing. I don't know why they messed up so bad. It's a human. It's not even like it's a turtle. They did better with the turtle somehow. And this Shredder figure is just not it. He can barely move properly. They took in no account for all the spikes and everything like that, what kind of plastic and rubber to make it out of. And it's just not worth it. It's not great. He does have more articulation here, so you can have him crunch up and do that and hold it here, the blade and stuff like that. I don't even want to do it with these elbows because, there we go. You can have him do that, which is really cool. I think that's definitely a good choice, a good call that they made. But other than that, man, this figure's just like super, super difficult to like. He looks awesome, but this is probably the best poster you're going to get him in. I tried getting him in a few others that you'll see here, but after that, I just kind of got discouraged because there's not much more you can really do. So, yeah, it's not the best, unfortunately. Okay, so first off, here they are next to Shredder from the same wave. Next up, here they are next to the Leo from the Last Ronin. And I think these are a little further back. There we go. So here he stands next to those. Here they stand next to the Last Ronin Donatello. Forgetting to mention all of these figures are from Neca, by the way. So continuing with that, here's the Neca Leonardo from the Return to New York wave. So here they stand next to their Playmates counterparts. And unfortunately, with the Playmates company losing the license to Ninja Turtles, what a way to kind of go out, you know? Obviously, it's not like they made these now, but being able to pair these up with essentially the kid version of these NECA figures, because these were everything to me. This was crazy, all the sculpt, articulation. It was also crazy, so much fun. Here they all stand next to these, and it, like, you could see this has that battle, that kind of wear and tear. Like, these are not new. These are pretty old from when I was really, really young. And just, it's crazy. It's crazy. But here they are next to those, and man, they still look great today. And here they stand next to their IDW versions by Best Action or the Loyal Subjects. And next here they all stand next to a few other figures. We have the Mirage Baxter Stockman, the Mirage Foot Soldier, the Mirage Patriot Casey, and the 1990 Tsatsu figure. All, of course, again, by NECA. Here they stand next to your Marvel Legends, your average Marvel Legends. We have the Maximum Series Spider-Man. And then here they are next to the easiest to get Batman Buck. If you're talking classic terms or just regular terms of Batman, we have the Year One Batman on the Rebirth body. Here they are next to the Mirage Comics Leatherhead here. Them getting really up next to each other. Not too tall, actually. I mean, he still towers over them. I actually really like this height for them. Here is Shredder next to the DC Multiverse Year One Batman and the Playmates First Wave Shredder. Here's that Shredder next to Tatsu and the Baxter Stockman. Here is Shredder next to the Patriot Casey and the IDW Leonardo. Here he is next to the Last Ronin Leonardo and the Last Ronin Donatello. Here he is next to the IDW Raphael and IDW Michelangelo. And then, quickly switching him out, here he is next to the IDW Donatello. And then here he also is next to a Foot Assassin. And here he is next to your average Marvel Legends, the Maximum Spider-Man. And here they all stand next to the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Jack Specific Sonic figure. Okay, so I'm going to give my final thoughts on the Turtles, and then I'm going to give my final thoughts on the Shredder, and then my final thoughts on the Wave as a whole. Because the Turtles strong carry. Look at these. These look amazing and are articulating exactly how I would put them on my shelf, and knowing that they wouldn't cause any stress marks or anything like that on these figures. Like, they pretty much almost did it. There's just some things that I wish were a little different when it comes to these figures. But other than that, I think they're almost perfect. Donatello, Leonardo, especially just pop and look amazing. Michelangelo's right up there, and Raphael, no matter what I think, it's still amazingly done and captures the 2012 show, I think, more than the Reveltech Turtles have, because these just look straight from the show. Those ones have a lot of cuts, a lot of joints that are almost misplaced looking. These ones just capture what I wanted perfectly. And if I were to just think of TMNT 2012 figures, this is what I'm going to think of. I am super happy to have these figures in my collection because I grew up on this. I grew up on watching the 90s movies first, but of course, this show came out right around the time I was really could even understand and get into TV shows and stuff. I was born in 2008. I'm 17. So this was just amazing. And yeah, I got into the TMNT really, really young, and I'm so happy I did. And to have these figures here now, yes, nostalgia is playing a certain part, but the fact that they're actually good is what's really carrying and just doing this for me. So for Donatello as a whole, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Leonardo, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Raphael gets a 7 out of 10, and Michelangelo is going to get an 8.5. Leonardo would have been so amazing had he come with the pupil head. I think I'm just going to give him an 8 because he is really good, really well articulated, really nicely done, and there's almost nothing wrong with him. It's just that head sculpt that we're missing. So I'm going to give Leonardo an 8. Yeah, I'm going to keep it an 8. I think these figures are really, really nice. Now, the Shredder, I just don't even want to get into almost, but that figure still has some things to enjoy about it too. So as a whole, as the 4, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. These 4 here are just amazing. And if all you're looking for is the 4 turtles, then you're going to have such a fun time. And it's amazing. It's honestly going to be amazing. I'm not using any of the mods that I have done on these turtles. I'm not even using it on Donatello here because, as you can see, it's barely even twisting. And the leg is just coming out there. So you can get these poses with your figures too. Michelangelo, I'm not doing any twisting either. That's just straight up how it is. Raphael, I don't want to grab 2, but as you can see, there's no real twisting going on there either, just maybe in the legs, but you can get these crazy poses. And then obviously you see nothing with Leonardo. So I'm keeping it as honest as I can. I think these turtle figures are amazing while definitely still having things you should look out for. Heat these figures up and just pray to God that you don't get one where one of the joints just snap on you. But there's so much to enjoy from these figures. I think definitely you won't be disappointed picking them up. So what are my final thoughts on the wave as a whole? I'm going to give this wave an 8 out of 10. I think the turtles carry super strongly, super heavily. The Shredder is just kind of a disappointment, but I still think it has so many of its own ways to enjoy it. The articulation is still manageable and able to be enjoyed. It's just so much of this could have been done better. But I don't want to bog it down too much because this still looks amazing. So I want to give this set an 8 out of 10. The first wave coming off really, really strong. I can't wait for Slash, April, Master Splinter. It's going to be awesome. I'm really curious to see how they're going to do him. Are they going to make the robe a cloth piece or are they going to do it plastic? I really have no idea, but I can't wait to see because I definitely want to expand on these universes or on this universe because I think it is awesome. However, the Shredder by itself, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys have your own thoughts and stuff like that and comment down below. I think it's super fun when people have conversations and stuff like that, especially about figures like these. So So yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think below. Let me know what you thought about the review. I know this is a very long video, but I got a lot of editing to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give this video a like. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so I can give you the truth on the next figure. So thank you guys again for watching. It means so much to me. That Sentinel review did really well for my time back. So hopefully we can keep it going and connect with more people. So yeah, spread peace, love, and be greater together. Thank you guys again for watching. See you next time. Bye.